Good morning, everyone, and it's Crisandro here. Um, well, wasn't able to go to the game last night. There's a few things got in the way, but blimey, kind of glad I didn't. Really, it's a mixture of a horror show and some sublime football, wasn't it? I mean, wow, where to begin? The defending for one. I mean, that's pretty much where we have to start, isn't it? We look kind of assured. I mean, Southampton started off so well, and we knew what they were going to do. They're going to press high. They're going to hassle and harry. They're going to force us into mistakes, and then take advantage. And it's kind of like watching Southampton under Pochettino, if you know what I mean. That early period. The only difference is that Pochettino got them doing that within 6 months of arriving, and it's taken Southampton up until about a good 18 months to get that kind of rhythm going. You know what I mean? And now they've got it going. They look good doing it, don't they? And we knew what they were going to do because obviously they did it when we played them at their place earlier in the season where we drew 1-1. And if it wasn't for that sending off, we could have been battered into submission, and I have no qualms in admitting that. Um, but being pressed is one thing, and being forced into mistakes is one thing. But when you're making mistakes all on your own, that's when there is an issue. I mean, we took the lead against the run of play really, and that's when we started having a good spell in the game. And within minutes, they equalised really, and you have to say that it was deserved. Broker, the young Albanian, young Albanian striker on loan from Chelsea. Not many people know that he was actually on our books at the age of 7 till 9, I think it was. From a young period. If I guess it's another thing. We had the foresight. We could have snapped him up, but who knows why he was let go at that age? And he stayed at Chelsea for 11 years, and now he's broken, and now he's deemed good enough to go out on loan. Um, so yeah, he equalised after we took the lead for another own goal. There seems to be at least we're forcing issues in order to get these own goals. And the thing is, we didn't enjoy the lead that long because we ended up making mistake upon mistake in defence. Not, as you know, I'm not one to call players out, but I don't think Davinson Sanchez, despite having like a good last few games, probably not going to be his best game, or one that he'll look back on. Because it was his error, and then another error compounded on top of that led to um, Southampton equalising. And you had to say, at that point, when they had around 65% possession, and they had a lot of chances, and I mean a lot. Lloris had to bail us out a good couple of times in that first half, and then the second half, we started off very well, took the lead again, and deserved it. And then a lot of people were saying that, oh, we sat back. I wouldn't say we sat back. Southampton just carried on playing the way they played, but looked like we were. Yeah, maybe we did sit back. We were kind of happy to just try and soak up the pressure and then try to hit them on the break. But from what we were seeing in that first half, hitting them on the break was proving more difficult than than it seemed. Um, I've seen Winks come into a lot of criticism as well in the group. He dwelt on the ball a couple of times. I wouldn't say he made outright mistakes. He dwelt on the ball a couple of times, which led to them breaking a few times. But he played really, really well. He was happy to drive the game forward, and looking for passes throughout. Um, defensively as a shape, we look good, but it's just the individual mistakes that cost us. And Southampton were very adept at taking advantage of those. That's the bit that kind of hurts, really. It was kind of like our own undoing, really. Like I said, Southampton didn't really do too much to surprise us. They played that high line. They played. They tried squeezing us like they did. What was it called? Last season, was it last season on Mourinho, or was it 2 years ago? Can't remember. Where we won 5-2. played the same way, and we just kept putting the ball in behind them. Or Kane did 4 times, suddenly scoring 4 times. They kind of tweaked that a little bit, so at least they had a player hanging back each time. As I said, it wasn't a complete high line. They just now they're a bit more clever. They don't push up high. They just kind of have it playing hanging back. But he's kind of like a slow runner, so basically you get caught offside each time if you keep if you try to put a ball in the back. That's just it's kind of clever the way they did it. But we just didn't learn, and I think that's where the issue comes in. Really, I mean, people are saying now we should have got defenders. Maybe, but would new defenders have stopped stopped us from enabled us to be press resistant? Who knows? Um, but all I know is that a lot of those mistakes were defensive, and the defensive mistakes were kind of unforced errors in a lot of the cases. I don't think I don't think they profited from pressing us high. They profited from us defending, well, just giving the ball away in cheap areas, and that's where the issue kind of lies, really. I mean, it's just kind of a case of where to go now. I mean, these are the players now that Conte trusts, and good couple of them let them down, but it's good to see the players that did come on. Bentancur looked good again, looked assured, and look, he was very clever on the ball. Kulusevski there played very well on the right, forced the issue a couple of times. A lot of people I mean, not a lot of people, I haven't actually seen any complaints. I just heard on the group that people were complaining, but I was saying that he had a cut back on his left foot a lot. He showed that he can use his right foot to put in crosses, and he did quite well with it. Our pressing late on, I mean, Southampton know how to defend. When they got a lead, they know how to defend, and so it was always going to be difficult to break them down. And they're trying to be clever with feigning injury and feigning fouls a lot, but it just goes to show that we still have a lot of work to do. We've come a long way. That is Conte's first defeat in the league, especially at home, and shows we've got a lot to work on. But I guess we shall see what happens. We've got a run of home games now. As you know, as everyone knows, I'm not really a big fan of aiming for Champions League. I want to aim as high, finish as high as we can, and let's just say that there's a lot of high position that's still available for us. And if we put this behind us and actually, well, start thinking when we're on the ball, then a lofty position is available to us. We're still in the FA Cup, as you would have seen in the video. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go and click the link below and have a look. It was a double header last weekend, where we played Brighton in the FA Cup and in the WLSL, and they were both comprehensive victories in the end. So that was a good weekend, and I hope if you have seen it, I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like the video. Tell me what you think. What did you think of the game last night? Obviously, we have a lot more work to do, but do you see it like I see it? It was just a case of individual mistakes kind of costing us, and not a case of a general malaise within the squad. And a lot of players are getting flack. You know, I don't want to call them out, but I will say when a player has made it has cost the team, and without being pressurised, and there are players that are being called out unfairly. I mean, wasn't Højbjerg? I don't think it was Højbjerg's best game, and he was substituted for Bentancur in the second half. Well, Winks played alright, but he's getting a bit of flack from people as well. And he played well. Just dwelt on the ball a couple of times. That's literally it. But yeah, 2 steps forward and another 3 steps back by the looks of it. Wolves this weekend. I should be recording that game as well. Just had to get back on the winning streak, and then to get back on a winning run, and then see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I do work with a couple of Southampton fans here as well, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We shall see how that happens, and I'll be shaking their hand. Well, obviously not with COVID, but I'll be giving them fist bumps and congratulations for them because they played really well. It was good, actually quite impressive to see Southampton play the way they did. Just kind of a throwback to how we used to play in the first couple of years under Pochettino. But we'll get there. We're still learning under Conte. We'll get there. This season I pretty much had written off anyway, so we'll see how it all kind of unfolds. And then Wolves at home this weekend. Have to improve on that one, man. Have to improve on that one.